Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fictitious Dark, where we explore the line between the truth and the fictitious. I'm Josiah, and today we're going to be breaking down this latest stunt by Kim Kardashian, the Santa Baby music video. Now, a lot of you have probably been seeing that there is potentially some occult meaning, definitely some dark meanings within this music video. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's nefarious, but certainly worth examining. So we are going to be going through this whole thing without the sound, obviously, for copyright reasons. So we start out with Kim immediately setting up this analog 90s, late 80s kind of analog recording style. Immediately kind of captures that horrifying feel. She's sliding down. This is obviously like a reference to her sliding down on the cameraman, a clear adult film reference. I can't say certain words. And then we start to see like what this whole thing is about. Is it's going to show us a bunch of like very surreal imagery, a lot of vignettes almost. Here it's kind of like stockbrokers. They're like on their phones, they're making deals. They're telling people to quiet down because there's something going on. We get this distortion here, and then we immediately get this right here on wheels, this donkey. Now, you could read this, it's Christmas time. Maybe it's just the donkey that brought Mary and Joseph to Egypt. But the donkey, the ass, could also be, when I first saw this, I thought this was a goat, but it seems to be a donkey. And it is on wheels. So you can immediately take that to be a reference to, if you're taking it as a reference to the donkey that took Mary and Joseph to Egypt, it's on wheels. This is a controlled event, perhaps. And in the background, we see this kind of meeting going on and the Christmas lighting. The distortion cuts in. We see Kim near the trash. And so we get this image of trash, specifically trash from a party. And next to it is this, attractive woman. This attractive woman that is being equated with being no better than trash. She is a shallow, vapid icon that we fill with our lust and our aspirations and our dreams, and we want to be like her, but really she is no more than trash. This is like Kim Kardashian making this self-aware statement, assumedly. So let's continue on. And at this point begins the sequence where she starts crawling. We see like Santa's elves, but clearly it's not quite a costume. They're almost like goblin-esque. They're almost demonic. Here, this one is dressed in red and eating some food. We have this guy. He's also seeming like a dwarf character fixing the sink. And she here is like, again, placed right near his, his particular area. This is, again, a very clear adult film image here. And she's crawling through again, and she seems to resemble Marilyn Monroe. Here we have someone throwing a football as the football is passed. And it's real quick, and here we have two people fighting over money. Which, in essence is like a commentary on, what has Christmas become? It's this de-sacred event. It has been commercialized, it has been perverted, and it's part of this system where it's just these chumps fighting over money, like literal scraps from the food table. Here we get another kind of image here. Definitely something going on here. Santa is on the wall. The twister board is, placed very specifically. She's in a compromised position. We see this kind of dark figure over here looming. This definitely reminds me of like Clockwork Orange, like the tables they have at the beginning of that. And it is like a normal person, but looks to be an African-American woman. And here we have this like somewhat kind of American Beauty cheerleader motif dancing. And you see here the all-seeing eye. The point is you obscure one eye and it becomes the eye of providence over here. This actually creates a pyramidal structure. If you look at the brim of the hat to her chin, that could create like an image of an all-seeing eye, like right there perhaps. You know, then she kind of puts it on, more distortion. Here we see that donkey, and this time it's a real donkey. And we see here this like satirical portrayal of the Virgin Mary. And, you know, even the look right there, like it is fake, fake religiosity. Definitely mocking this concept. It is almost, you know, it's hard to tell at this point, but some of the ways you could interpret this video is that is either the directors / Kim commenting on Christmas perverting something that is meaningful, or it is even saying that that it is essentially just like commercialized meaninglessness. And this, I just noticed the comment, the dislikes were disabled. That's funny. That they might be saying this is a deeper level of false narrative that has been passed over, essentially. No sign of that alien figure kind of popped in. We see these this sort of movement again, like showcasing this. Again, we get Christ, crown of thorns. He's looking in the fridge. She continues crawling. This guy, it reminds me electricity from Twin Peaks, you know. There something interesting. Let's go back. If you look here, a foot comes into frame, and then it kind of withdraws. We don't see where it goes. These guys are still fighting over money. Kim is still crawling, again looking a lot like Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe at these parties. Marilyn Monroe, the exploited, potentially murdered sexual icon. Again, we have a distortion where a figure in red. Let's go back. Right there. Let's see that again. I don't think I'll divine anything from it. I could just slow it down, but it's snowing indoors. Yeah, some kind of red figure. I'd be interested to find out like what if these are of anything, this portrait, this nature. But nature has fallen. The great men of the past disgraced. Snow. She's crawling through snow now. There's a little dog down there wiggling its tail. Little dog there. You know, pets, even your pets, they're just like an image that you have to help raise your status in a way. Here on the table we have like someone lounging, another blonde. I can't tell. I don't want to make snap judgments. That looks as if it could be someone cross-dressing. I don't know for sure. I don't want to make snap judgments. Here we have like this manic woman like clipping a tree that is already clipped, trying to salvage something. You can see this is like the degrading society, the degrading meaning of Christmas over time. Here we have someone with obscured eyes on her phone. She is blinded by the technology, perhaps. This person, like, the concave in that chest looks horrible. Like, that's awful. But this kind of wearing a cross here, long hair, as depictions of Christ, but the Santa hat is the crown of thorns this time. And here's this old man just counting money. He was probably the one who threw the money to the guys earlier that are fighting over it. He's counting hundreds here. Counting those Benjamins. And here, like, she's, like, not even crawling at this point. She's, like, splayed out. Here we have two bums sitting by the fire. And obscuring them as, like, a cabaret-ish character. I need to go back to see that. I might have to slow this shit down. But we don't see their face. And they're all blind, too. And they're in a choir. They're worshiping something they do not realize the full meaning of. Football player putting out cigarettes into the ground. Definitely an evocative image. Addiction. Stimulation. You know? Very young. Very young. Probably like college age max. Here we have a swimmer like encased in this. Sealed in with this water, swimming. Can't go anywhere. The fact that she's black might mean something. Here we have the nativity again. We're seeing repeated imagery. It's not just that it's regarding Christmas. It's repeated imagery of Mary, the Christ, the donkey. Here the train is going backwards and then forwards again. Like a child's train, and she's crawling over it. North by northwest, like phallic maybe. Here's this interesting. We have this bodybuilder. We have some guy kind of like looking at the TV but lecturing him. We have two old women here. He seems to be, he's another stockbroker. There's these repeated characters posing now. The gifts are unwrapped. Here this is interesting. There's like a cast on her foot, potentially a commentary on the beauty standards that damage people. We still have not seen that person's face. We have carolers. We see like this Billie Eilish looking chick. Here, like the barber is 1, 2, 3, like trying to think if there's any number symbolism. His watch is loose. His watches are loose for some reason. Is he wearing a crucifix? I can't tell, but he's shaving this, you know, Pugsley looking kid's head. This is one of the creepiest parts. This is definitely a Shining reference. This seems to be a skunk, but definitely the grabbing of this area. This is reminding me of The Shining. This is a ritualistic thing, an animalistic thing, and they are ready to participate. Taps down twice, you know. That character's remained there. I think I saw them earlier. They might have been fighting over the money, but even though there is the distortion, this is definitely like a very well directed piece in terms of blocking and choreography. Here is like these little people dressed as Santa, like grabbing the bags of money, running out, vacuuming. There's so much money, they're vacuuming it up. All these crucifixes on the ground. A murdered nun. What does she say again? He is not a man of God. He is not a man of God, she keeps repeating. And again, she is the... Look at these. It's gratuitous. It's like, you know... These are these... This guy is freezing in the fake snow, you know. He's left out in the cold from all this. But she seemed to be dead and he was watching on. Maybe he was not a man of God. Here's this masked feminine figure with a sparkler. Lucifer, even, like the light. Gambling over wealth. And she keeps crawling, and she's crawling through it all. She's crawled through all these parties, all these people's lives, and she comes between the legs of old Saint Nick, Santa Claus, and there's a reason I've been drawing attention to Marilyn Monroe, because she actually did this. I don't remember exactly when, but Katie was telling me about it. There was like this event where she tried to like make herself fit into like the dress of Marilyn Monroe. And it almost seems like that was like a hazing ritual, like a humiliation ritual. Like, okay, you want to be the next sex icon? Let's have you fit into her dress, even though we've been putting so much emphasis on like these curves and all these other things. And here the casting couch metaphor comes full circle. She's crawling. She's degraded. She's nothing more than this chaotic party, and she comes between the legs of Santa Claus. Clear casting couch metaphor. Her fingers are crawling up. And he's recording. Very, very obvious adult film parallels. what they're trying to tell you is that this this society at the top, like what Kim is trying to say, is that if you want to be something, if you want to stop crawling, if you want to be it, be observed by the lens, the eye of providence, you know, the eye of fame, you will have to submit by crawling between the legs of this man who is cloaked as a holy man, old Saint Nick. He's cloaked in the finery of a saint, but he is a selfish individual. And to bring the metaphor full circle, it's Macaulay Culkin, another person who was victimized and abused and sexually taken advantage of. Probably like Kim has, you know, probably like all these, not all these stars, but a lot of stars have had to give up their innocence to the lens, the image, the eye of those in charge. And he's taking this role because he's been there. He knows what it's like. And he smirks because he recognizes this. He knows that it's evil. And that's the end. And you know, there was a bit less hidden than I had originally when I first saw it. Because when you're listening to music, a lot of people, I think Anthony Fantano commented that she sounded drunk. And she sounded like all these things. Like, you know, it sounded like she's drugged. Like she's drugged at a party, or she's drugged for this video she's making for whoever, you know, whoever you want to stand in for the Santa Claus character. You know? It seems to me like, so a lot of people said this is like a desperate attempt at attention, and it is. But it is kind of making a joke of the whole thing. The casting couch. It's just making, it's a joke. It's one big joke. It's like you're degrading yourself for the attention, for the fame, and is that worth it? For that kind of dark, deconstructed world. I don't know. But I just wanted to get this to you guys like a bonus Christmas recording. If any of you have any comments or ideas or anything I missed in there, any symbolism analysis, please let us know. And like, comment, and subscribe, and give suggestions for what you want to see next. Sleep well out there.